Grand final time! Yeah, and again, we have a rematch pretty much of last week, so Feel the Heat absolutely crushed through their part of the bracket. I mean, crushed. They were like super quick. They didn't lose a single map, neither did Washed Up, by the way. But Feel the Heat, on every second map that they played against an opponent, it felt like they went for a speedrun or something. So it could be a super interesting series, considering that last time the two teams faced off against each other, it was also a 3-mapper. And yeah, let's see who's taking it today. I mean, after last week, I would say that Feel the Heat is probably, I don't want to say salty, but I would be in a spot where I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to win this. At the same time, we have also sub-players on the side of Washed Up. They played with substitution players for the entire tournament here. So Ixia and Taya are actually playing today because the regular members couldn't make it for this specific qualifier. And Lauber's team doesn't really play these days anymore. Lauber himself is taking a little bit of a break from Heroes. He has lost a bit of his motivation. And Henning, to my knowledge, actually only came back for Method Mayhem. So that keeps Ty, for example, in the spot where he's like, yeah, I can easily sub in, don't really have a team that I'm playing with right now. But with that said, obviously those are high-level subs. At the same time, some of that synergy that you usually have on the side of Washed Up is now probably not on the same level as it was before, right? So with that in mind, Feel the Heat might have the edge that they need in order to lock this one down for themselves. But time will tell. First of all, we got Imperius on Volskaya Foundry banned out, and we got Zul banned out. By the way, this is also a best of 3 series, so it was discussed in the live stream just a little bit. Hey, why isn't this a best of 5? The reason is actually pretty simple. This is a qualifier tournament, and in a qualifier tournament, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to lock the players down for a best of 5 for the grand final, especially since we're covering both of the semis the entire time too. So that's why this is 4 players and everyone else just a best of 3. But once that we're heading into the actual main tournament that the teams are trying to qualify for here, where all of the prize money is going to be played out too, that's of course where we're going to have a lot more best of 3s committed to. So yeah. So Chromie gets banned, we have the ban on Zul, and we have also a ban on Medivh. This seems to be the theme today, that Medivh just gets banned against Ultralist the entire time. Kind of ignores the fact a little bit that his Maiev is also kind of nuts, but he hasn't really shown it today yet. That being said, he didn't really have to either, so there's that. Cassia, as usual, very, very high up on the priority list. If she doesn't get banned, then she gets picked. And in this case, she gets locked in right away. But with Urel open, we get Urel taken. And I don't know, but for some reason, Dino is just walking away with his Tracer every single game today. And Ixia, there we go, Brightwing. And this is one of the few times that I'm happy about a Brightwing pick. Yes, you heard right. I'm actually happy about a little bit of a Brightwing setup here. Because Ixia plays a sick Brightwing. And now we could have Polymorph against Tracer. So it's actually kind of cool. I want to see how much he can do with this. I'm really looking forward to that. Ixia is one of the few players, when I look at his Brightwing setup, where I say like, alright, there we go. This is someone really bringing the best traits of a hero in, whereas Brightwing, generally speaking, has, deservedly so, the by-name Trashwing. Some call it Shitwing. Garbage Wing is less often used, but still accurate. But Ixia can really put a lot of work into that hero and really get a lot out of it. So we'll see if that actually works out now. So let's see what he can do with the Fruit Fly. We got on bans and also ETC banned out. But Dino, again, he's playing Tracer, I think, every single game today. Was there a single game where he didn't play Tracer today? I honestly don't know. But I think this is now the 6th time in a row that he plays the hero. Alright, so for the last ban, what do we have? Washed Up is coming through with a ban on Malfurion. Fair enough, trying to make Tracer a little bit less impactful at this point. And yeah. I mean, so far so good. Okay, so with that, what do we get for Tracer? What are we getting as a support for her? What do we get for Wit as well? I mean, again, his Imperius was already banned out by them, by the way, because they were in second pick position, not in first pick position, so they didn't want to go Imperius over to the opponent. There's our Maiev, told you, Maiev for Ultralisk, and we got Deckard Cain as well. Okay. And that leaves us with Ty and Masquerade. It'd be kind of cool if Tai would now go into a Zeratul setup. I mean, Tai and Dainu have a very similar hero pool. They overlap at least on Assassins quite a bit. And it's awesome to just see them sometimes go toe-to-toe against each other. Especially when they're playing the same heroes round into round. But instead, we got the Sergeant and we got Johanna as well. Alright, that is a pretty sweet setup here, with Deathwing coming in towards the end for Feel the Heat. Well, Skya Foundry, ladies and gentlemen, let's go! We got Brightwing in, we got Deathwing in, we got the Fairy Dragon against the Real Dragon, we got Sergeant Hammer in for the Germans, played by a Brit. So there's a couple of things. Nah, Hazu swaps over. Hazu plays Hammer. Now we're talking, Anyways, well, Skya Foundry, game number 1. Game number 1 in the best of 3 grand final. Feel the Heat on the left side. Playing Deckard Cain, played by X-Ray, Dino and Tracer, with on Tyrael, Urel. We got Ultralisk on Maiev and Blade on Deathwing. Whereas on the right side of the map, washed up is rocking Hazorps on the Sergeant. Nick on Cassia, Ixia on Brightwing, Tai on Blaze, and Masquerade is playing Johanna. Alright, let's go. We have Nisha's Momentum on level 1. We got the Dragon Soul, Sapphire, the 1-2 punch, plus a Thunderstroke now for Cassia herself. Urel already jumping around a little bit. And yeah, this skin just in general, with pretty much any tint that you go for, looks absolutely sexy. So, Urel is kind of funny against Sergeant Hammer, especially at the beginning of the game, because you can just always push him back and then you need to reposition. After level 7, of course, the momentum changes a little bit. That is kind of nice, at least. Also, we got Nick trying to get the stacks here. And, I mean, he's sitting at 8 stacks already, so he is getting stacks quickly. I mean, holy hell. This is one of the best maps for stacking, too, because you have so many long and drawn-out fights over the objective that it's really easy for a good Cassia player to get some solid stacks together, and therefore decent damage as well. So, Blade at the bottom of the map going up against Tai, who's on Blaze in this game. I mean, he's been flexing for his previous team also quite a bit, so now that he's subbing in this tournament, he can of course continue that. Ixia at the same time. He needs to I mean, he's Brightwing's last hope. That's pretty much what it is. So, generally speaking, maybe we're going to see at some point a little bit of a rework for the Fairy Dragon here. For the Fruit Fly. But, yeah. Over here on the other hand, good position for Hazu. Keeps more or less full control over this one, even if it gets baited out a little bit. And Ultralisk is already feeling that firsthand. He gets one hit connected after another. There's a lockdown on Nick. But these are exactly the fights that Nick wants. Every cooldown he can just simply go for another Lightning Fury and try to get that set up. It's a bit more damage in, but they are losing out on the item. So that's a nice lead for Feel the Heat as they are starting to take the first healing beacon in this game. It's good for that. But, well, let's go. Currently down at the bottom of the map, there's still Tai sitting, and Hazu, 17 hit points, the German efficiency, as he moves away. Sits at 20 hit points, like, dude, you should maybe go back. He's like, no, this is not efficient, too many hit points. And then he moves out. There's a little bit of a different setup, by the way, that we now also have for Feel the Heat. So now we're seeing Urel and Deathwing in a setup where they are the only frontliners, and Blade is obviously on the side lane, which puts Urel technically into the main tank position. So we're just playing this a little bit the same way that Lauber for a long time played Blaze as a main tank. Now, the one thing that they're obviously missing because of that is proper stuns. Now, Urel is really good at controlling an area and also just like pushing opponents away, but she doesn't really have that stun that you oftentimes want from a main tank, and that CC that usually comes with it. Now, it's not like she can't really do a whole lot of the front line, has not insane survivability, but those blessed shield setups, those condemns, if you have any kind of other tank that supplies you with a stun, it's just simply that is missing at this point. So they need to really cater towards a bit of a different playstyle. And a lot of the CC is going to come from Ultralisk, who's obviously going to attempt to tether as much as he can here. Nick, in the meantime, is sitting at 20 stacks, considering that we're 3.5 minutes into the game. That isn't really too bad. Should be able to go close towards 30 once that we're hitting the 5-minute mark here, which would be a pretty good one. It's all about objective number 1 right now, though. And the top lane gets pressured out a little bit more. So Ixia is by now sitting on the magic spit. Absolutely disgusting talent, by the way. I mean, Fruit Fly is already disgusting in and of itself, but then having it spit on you as well? No, thank you. What is this? Russian hotel room? No. No spitting over here. Anyways, to the left side of the map, another item is now taken. This is true for both teams, right? So both are going to go for this one. The interesting part is that they absolutely let this one slide. So they just let it go. That protector wasn't even fought over. They just sat there and they were like, yeah, let's maybe not fight for this one. Let this one go. And this is not really all that common. So Hazu has now his level 7, and that allows him a bit more mobility, but they really need to burn it down as quickly as they can. In an ideal world, you're trying to still keep that fountain topside, but I don't really think that they can here. Maybe? No. Yeah, fountain goes down. So this is pretty much half the battle, right? You want to take the fountain down so that the second objective becomes a little bit easier for you. So that's what you're trying to accomplish with that. And that's pretty much what they did. So they had a pretty decent setup, rotate back into the mid lane, try to take another wall down, and have now both level 7 in, with level 7 being the critical mist here for Brightwing. Yeah, normally I agree. Brightwing is ganz schön missed. Blade and Ultralisk have now pushed out the bot lane a little bit. It's really not a fight-heavy game, which is a little bit sad for Cassia, who's still sitting at 32 stacks, but can't really she can't really capitalize on these long fights that we normally see on the checkpoint yet. So for Nick, that doesn't give him as many opportunities to get stacks together as he normally would want to. And with level 10 soon coming in for Feel the Heat, they are currently looking better and better and better here. I mean, they take item after item. They have now 2 healing beacons in their hands. So for objective number 2, they're looking fantastic, especially considering that they took out the top fountain as well. So that's even better. So that's actually a really, really good setup for them right now. Now, down to the bottom of the map, Deathwing is pretty much alone right now and can easily push this out. Top side, we have Dino just like dancing a bit around Hazu's range indicator, making sure that those auto attacks are not hitting. I mean, because let's face it, obviously, if you go up for Sergeant Hammer, he's one of the best when it comes to putting enormous damage onto, yeah, exactly, onto Tracer, and that's exactly what just happened. Hazu was able to get some auto attacks connected, then the rotation comes in, and Masquerade just says thank you very much, and they drop her. So that's an easy kill right there. 1 kill against 1, and now the chance to push through the top side. But X-Ray also trying to push Hazu out a little bit just so that he can save the wall, but Hazu simply engages on his level 4 and says like, yeah, I don't really care, dude. And that allows them to not only push this in a little bit further, but even take down the fountain. And that equalizes the position on the top side. And nicely done. That's exactly what you're looking for. Wit comes in. That's the cage, though. Deathwing comes in as well, as they're trying to make the play for Masquerade right now. Good hit. And Ultralisk nearly going down. He still survives, though. Blade committing. Might have to drop down the healing beacon. Moves away still. Bunker is in play. 1 healing beacon is out. And there's the polymorph. Perfectly timed. Nearly, but not quite. Still gets the ult through. Wit survives, and they take down 2 as Cassia and Johanna both fall. 3 kills to 1, and again the better position for Feel the Heat just before the objective spawns. Yeah, so far so good. It leads to a half-level lead. Nothing insane, but it's there, and it might allow them to get the level 13 talent. And of course, they're now also making another play for the next item. And if I'm not mistaken, they only used 1 of their healing beacons. So that means that they still have an advantage over Washed Up going into the next battle here. Okay. Down to the bottom of the map. Dainu's still dancing around Tai a little bit. And, well, let's see. We got right now 21,000 damage, 21,000 in Sergeant Hammer as well. Deathwing popping back up right away. Alright. And bam! There's the kill. Nicely done. Good coordination. That was actually a really cool play from them. So letting Deathwing drop down, going for the body blocks, and then allowing them to go for the kill. That was absolutely fantastic. I like it. Okay, so With that, we got topside control now from Urel on the objective. And the second one could hurt. They are trying to set up a trap here. The problem is that the trap is starting to work against him. Ixia, as usual with the blink heal on level 10, is trying to keep the boys alive. And so far, he's done a decent job on it. But it doesn't change the fact that Urel is still in control of the objective. And kind of ignoring this. So this is actually starting to hurt the fort. Someone needs to come in and really help out with it. But they're busy in the mid lane. Just pushing around this, and so far it's really not working too well, but they're letting another one slide. Ooh, washed up with some tricky calls here. I mean, they are really starting to look at some trouble. It's only objective number 2. Again, this is not really the deciding one, but the second objective, letting this one go too, that is not something that a lot of teams would have done here. So they're letting the early objective slide. Obviously, the scale into the late game where they get even stronger, but Masquerade goes down. So this entire situation is not looking great for them. Tai is trying to zip around here. Dino wants to follow, and he is gonna get that kill. Alright, Blaze down. Topside gets pushed, or midside gets pushed by Deathwing, and the Protector makes it in the meantime down to the bottom of the map in an attempt to break through the wall here to prep for objective number 3 and potentially take this fountain down as well. Okay, so it's a weird game. 6 kills to 1, 2 level lead, washed up, gets pretty much crushed here. Yeah, that's a good setup too. Nick is a bit low. 53 stacks, by the way, for him by now. Fountain is gone, which means that the next objective is already looking pretty good for Feel the Heat. Unless, of course, Watch Up comes back and takes the wall and Fountain down on the bottom fort for the blue team. But they are losing too much here. This game is not going well for Washed Up at all. Again, the little caveat that they're playing with 2 substitute players, but still, they are struggling more than you would expect here after they were just able to also take Paper My Lady down without too many problems there. And Feel the Heat is just controlling this, start to finish. I mean, we're pretty much looking at 6 kills to 1. That's a level 16 talent against level 13 talents. They can now go for additional items. They already have the lead on the item control. And here comes another potential fight, and that's really one you don't want to take unless you can get the insta-kill. And they did. So that's exactly the kill that you need if you want to come back into this. Tracer gets taken down, but they're still willing to fight here. Bunker is down on the ground as they're trying to keep it a little bit longer. Here comes the Molten Flame as they go for the Blade. Deathwing, careful. But they seem to just part ways here after exchanging a couple of bullets. 1 level is still missing, and top fort is also going to be in trouble. But here's another quick look at that kill. So right now, that's where they take the camp initially, and then look Dino moving to the top, and he just disappears. I mean, he gets instantly wiped at this point, as they're coming in and dropping him with everything that they have. Absolutely no chance for him to survive there. And yeah, big problem that led not really too much more happening. Honestly, if you think about it, Washed Up couldn't really accomplish too much with the kill. The one thing that they definitely got was they closed the gap in experience a little bit and didn't allow Feel the Heat to take anything else on the map while they were down a talent. So that was probably the biggest accomplishment here. But now we're looking for another item camp being fought over, and Washed Up is struggling around, but well, let's see. At this point, here comes another kill. Urel is down. No ult for you, baby. And Washed Up is all of a sudden starting to get some momentum here. Talking about getting stuff. Nick is currently also starting to get a couple of additional stacks for his level 1, and he's sitting at 37,000 damage. He's not top damage in the game yet. That's still Dino. But as he continues to get stacks, he might just be able to make the difference for them. Now, we're not there yet. And all of the forts, with the exception of the bottom of the map, are still in play. Even the 2 at the top left and top right, even though they were heavily attacked earlier. But that commitment down here is dropping the fountain again. And, well, that is it. That's the setup that might just lead to an even fight for the next objective. But, of course, it also has the consequence that with the commitment at the bottom of the map, the top is pretty much exposed. And that's where they're trying to take the item, and it just gets taken away. Tai comes in, says thank you very fucking much, and just simply snaps it away. And now they're going for Dino. Dino gets slowed, fully controlled, but is still able to make it out. But it was definitely a close call. And the objective is up now. 6 kills to 3. Washed Up is not out of this by any way. I mean, this could... Oh, there's the hit in the middle. Deckard Cain down. Nick low. Kill for kill. And we see a Deathwing popping in too. Trying to go for the body block. Forces the item out. Ty had to commit to the healing beacon. Okay, they still got one turret in their hands. Jesus, this game is getting spicy all of a sudden. Was full control on the last few objectives for Feel the Heat, and now it starts to very heavily turn. This game isn't over. This is actually starting to get really weird. And nobody gives a shit about the objective at this point. I mean, third objective is up, and they're just all sitting there and just like, well, not today, baby. Yeah, instead, they're still fighting. Fight experience has been taken. Item gets claimed. Here comes the big fight. Hazu down. Masquerade low. They go for the kill. They get the double. And there we have it. Triple kill. Ixia trying to keep them alive for as long as possible, but he's literally put between a rock and a hard place. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is nearly an entire wipe. 11 kills to 4, and now the old man moving down to the bottom of the map to start up with the objective. But that might just be what broke Washed Up. That was exactly the fight that they needed. 50,000 damage now on Tracer. They come in the middle for the kill. Meantime, Tracer has committed to the top side to take another 4 down. And there we go. 1 fort eliminated. Deckard Cain's taking control of the bottom. We have Urel still going aggro on the mid lane fort. And this one is going to be dropped as well. So all the forts are all of a sudden out of play for Washed Up, and Feel the Heat is holding on to all of their structures. And they have control over the bottom of the map with 50% already reached. And level 20 in the hands of the blue team, who now use that advantage to steal camps and items away from their opponent. Now, it's not really likely that we'll have the game end here, unless there's a few kills coming in with the objective. But even taking the keep at this point would give you a huge advantage, considering that there's not a single fort eliminated on the blue team side. That lane control through catapults alone is incredibly powerful and important in the late game here. So with this, off we go, as everybody starts to slowly push into it. Yeah, Maiev is already in the protector. Top side is pushing. Camp on each side, but obviously we're going to see catapults spawn there eventually too. And here comes the play for keep number 1 in this game. Half a level, a little bit more missing for Washed Up in order to get the level 20 talents. But there comes the setup as they're starting to break through the wall here. One catapult already assisting a little bit with that approach, but they're starting to push it out slowly, and we're only 15 minutes into the game. That Punisher hasn't scaled properly yet, and it's down to 50% HP pretty much at this point. So they're trying to go for another play. Put Blaze into a corner more or less, or at least to the wall. But they get the damage in slowly on the objective. They're looking for a kill still. The problem is that the old man is in trouble, and there it is. The kill against Deckard Cain. And that might just be the end of the push here. They try to follow up with another one. Protector's already about to go down. And level 20 is nearly reached by Washed Up. They're not giving up here. They are not giving up on this one. And again, Keep hasn't fallen. It's not late enough in the game. Protector hasn't scaled enough yet. And there's the level 20 talents. And with level 20, we first of all have now the Infinite Lightning, and we also got the Invisible Friends. I mean, first of all, I have to burst a bit of a bubble here. Brightwing doesn't really have friends. Brightwing has acquaintances that simply just say like, alright, we might hang out with you because we have to. But nobody really chooses to hang out with Brightwing. So that's a bit of a misconception that has been around for a while. Brightwing doesn't really have friends, but can be of some use here regardless, and having a little bit of invisibility always helps. Urel could have used some because she was attacked immediately, so that's a problem. And that ball is still going strong, and Deathwing turns into Deadwing as Nick comes in for the kill. Guys, Washed Up is turning this. Washed Up is turning this right now. They are going... They took the first structure down. The first structure is eliminated, and they're pushing further. Deathwing is dead, so is Urel, and they're going through the wall at the bottom of the map here. This is starting to become more than a little bit nasty. Look at the stacks, by the way, that we have for Cassia at this point. 107. We're really getting there for Nick. 107 stacks right now, and he's at 71,000 damage. He's taking the top damage in the game. Easily. Top damage in the game is already here. And they might just be able to take it. Yeah, Urel is topside, trying to save that fort, but here comes another big move. And there's the kill. Yeah, it was a good attempt by Tracer to stay alive, but that's one kill. There's a follow-up. X-Ray, tie. No bunker. Barely makes it out. And Brightwing comes in for the heal. Doesn't change the fact that Tracer's still down and this is a 5 versus 4. They want to go for the keep and they might actually get it. But now that we have Ultralist back on Maiev, he's doing a lot of work too. He's sitting at 56,000. He's actually the only player that hasn't died in the entire game. Ultralisk on Maiev, not fallen once. But the keep goes down. Keep goes down, gets eliminated. And now they're even pushing further towards core if they can. A little bit low though, they might have to bail. And yes, 19 minutes in. Objective number 4, spawning soon TM. 118 stacks on Cassia. Yeah, Nick is crushing now again. And obviously they want another item. Volskaya Foundry is a lot about item control, as I highlighted already previously, but even more so in the past. So if you have those camps up and you can take them, your opponent is down a player or a talent, then by all means go for it. Helps you with the next objective, and that's what likely is going to end the game. Objective is going to be up next, and they are actually committing to a steal down here. Okay. Wit is already attempting to zone them out. Yeah, keeps Masquerade at bay a little bit longer, and they're going to get this one. So good commitment by them. Move in, get the item. Camp is taking topside. Blaze is pushing it out a bit too, but it's objective time. And they're taking the first one. Okay. Off we go. Let's see what they actually go with this. 11 to 8 kills. Still the lead for Feel the Heat. But can they win this one? This is for all the marbles pretty much. Now that we're 20 minutes in, that Protector is hitting a lot harder. So if you take this one, your chances of winning it are pretty good. And Deckard Kane, the old man, having the bottomless flask is pretty good for an objective like that. It's pretty good. So they have a great setup here. They're starting to lock them down hard, but Ultralisk, oh my god, he gets away and so does Dainu. Holy hell, the fountain in the middle doesn't obviously hurt either, so they are in a great spot again. Deathwing on the other hand, he's still running and Nick wants the kill. Nick! Oh, he needs to be careful now. Nick might be in trouble. No, he just turns it and takes Maiev down instead. 130 stacks for him, and that was maybe the most important kill in the entire game. Fort down, control on the objective, 50 seconds for Maiev. Ultralist didn't die once until now. Not once. But now he's dead, and here comes the attack in the middle. Objective soon to fall, and how does Feel the Heat play this one now? God, they were so far ahead. They were so far ahead, and now this is happening. Oh my god, another item about to be claimed. Objective, they're gonna let this one slide, and only the core is open. Yeah, well, Dino's actually trying to keep it alive a little bit longer. And does so for now, but Dino is low, nearly falling over there. Dino barely gets away. Protector is now getting dropped, and they're going for it. Look at this. This is the end. This is the end. Deadwing and Deckard Kane are both dead, and now we have them chasing Dino as the objective coming in for Wit. 144 stacks now for Nick, and he has 114,000 damage at this point. Nick is just insane once more. Yeah, Dino runs. Nick is just going for the kills here. He doesn't give a fuck about the core. He's just sitting there, it's like, I'm gonna kill all of you. But the core, yeah, gets it just as the core gets attacked. And Washed Up, I don't know what to say, guys, but Washed Up is coming in again, and they take the lead in this series after Feel the Heat took the advantage initially on this first map. Washed Up claims the victory, the W on Volskaya Foundry. Two on the Spider Queen, map number 2. Map chosen by Washed Up, and I don't know, they are in the lead again. Sometimes I really don't know how they do it. They lost the 2 first objectives on Volskaya Foundry. Now, of course, first 2 objectives on any map are usually not all that strong because it didn't really scale into the late game yet. But that's where you kind of build your advantage, right? You just work from one objective to the next. But Washed Up somehow is just always able in the late game, if their opponent makes a few mistakes, to capitalize on those and take them apart. An Ultralist who didn't die during the entire game, when it really came down to it, and objective number 4 was fought over, he had that battle up at the top with Nick, and he dies for the first time in the entire game, and that 5 versus 4 situation allows Washed Up to go for the objective, and that Protector is strong enough to allow them to go for a core. So, well played. Nick in particular, absolutely crushing it. That bad boy had 120,000 damage in this game on his Cassia. Second highest damage dealer, so by the way, Sergeant Hammer and Tracer, and both of those barely made it to 80,000. So, yeah, incredible performance here by Nick. And insane stacks with Cassia towards the end of the game, of course. Now that we're on Tomb of the Spider Queen, rules are a little bit different. I mean, it's a small map. You have 3 lanes. Can pretty much traverse between all the lanes pretty quickly. ETC and Urel, they are the ones to get banned out first, but Zul is also getting eliminated. And that leaves tons of heroes up that are just terrifying at this point. Trace are still up. We have Maiev still up on this map. Medivh is up. Just Frontliners getting banned right now. So it's terrifying. It's also terrifying. I mean, Kerrigan is there too. And Dino picks Tracer again. Time and time again. We got Tracer by Dino. Today is Tracer Day. Today is International Tracer Day, and here comes again Cassia and Brightwing. So as Ixie has shown on the last map, he's actually one of the players who can really make Brightwing decent. And he plays her again. And one of the reasons why they picked Brightwing on the last map, and one of the reasons why they pick her on this map too, is polymorph against Tracer. So you can really try and shut her down. And it worked several times in the last game that they started with a polymorph, and then, for example, the Blessed Shield on Johanna comes in, locks her down even more, and that allows them to get the kill. So that's one of the things they can do here now. But we got Malfurion together with Tracer. We have Johanna too. That means also a lot of interrupts against potential channel turns in. With Moonfire, with a flashlight on Jojo. But what exactly are we going to get now from the bans? Because you could still ban out Medivh if you want to. You could still try to pick Medivh for yourself also, of course. Washed Up has Hazops, so if they feel the need for Medivh, then they can do that. Deathwing ban instead. Will force Blade to play Blaze or Leo are usually his go-to options whenever he can't play Deathwing here. Both of them are still up, so that's still an option. But now the big question. Diablo, okay, against Masquerade they ban out Diablo. He was just terrifying when he played the hero against Pimp and My Lady earlier on today on Battlefield of Eternity. But now the question, Hazu, what is he going to play here? What are we going to get from him? Right. I mean, again, you can make so many different plays right now in compositions. And the biggest question is, Medivh, yes or no? Okay. Yeah, there's May. And Blaze. Okay. My. Let's see if that works again for them. That's actually a terrifying CC front, and that would help them a lot here. I mean, Blaze in particular, of course, can always follow up whenever she makes an engage. But now the question also what Ultralist is going to pick, and it's Tacita. There's Leo, that was to be expected, either Leo or, as I said, Blaze, but Blaze was picked away, so Leo is open. Go for Leo, and that leaves us with a tie as the last player to choose. We need a little bit more damage, obviously. I mean, Cassia is good, but she needs still a bit of an assist. He played... I mean, he could play Mina or Fia here, too, so... We've seen it from Dino, actually, in the first game of the day. Zarya! Okay! Let's go. They're trying to let feel the heat, apparently. Game number 2, everybody. The grand final continues here at the second qualifier for the Panda Cup. Let's come straight into game number 2 on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Game on! We are on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and it is time for game number 2. In this grand final on the left side, feel the heat! With Blade on Leoric, Dino and Tracer, Ultralisk on Tacita. We got Malfurion played by X-Ray and Johanna played by Wit. Hazops on Zarya for Washed Up on the right side of the map. We got Nick on Cassia, Ty on Blaze, Ixie on Brightwing, and a Masquerade on Mrs. Amazing over here. So, yeah, game number 1. The lead for Washed Up, I mean, it feels like it's always the case, right? And now that we're going into stacks again on the level 1 for Nick, let's see if he can get as many as he did on the last map and once again lead the charts here on the damage output. As his first 3 together already as is, and is just continuing that trend. Same time now, we have a 5 versus 5 brawl in the middle of the map as both teams are looking for the initial kill. Let's see if they can actually set this up. There's the stun set up already. Lockdown, nice! Frost Girl is doing well. And they're getting some solid stacks together for Nick here. Initially 8 already. Obviously, nothing too insane just yet, but still. Hazorps has switched on Zarya, by the way. Nick on Cassia, that was still the case, but we now have Ty on Blaze, as we've already seen him on the last map. And Zarya has gone on level 1 into the maximum charge here. Lost the opportunity to go into Feel the Heat. I mean, if you want to let Feel the Heat, then you have to go for Feel the Heat on Zarya. So if you don't do that, then yeah, you're just missing out. So not really a game for the memes. Apparently they're really trying to win here. And honestly, it's a terrifying setup. I mean, you have really a lot of sustain tools for the entire team. Not only does May have her own sustain through her trade, but then of course we have the bunker for later on. We have Brightwing as a support, and we also have on top of that now Zarya. So there's a lot of things that can really be done in this setup. And well, it just continues. They're starting to go straight for Blade here, and again, if you keep fighting these fights and allow Cassia to stack, you see what happens. The last map was an absolute disaster for them, and he is doing a very, very good job right now. He's sitting at 18, so these 4-man rotations that we have between the mid and the top lane are helping him to get more and more shots connected, and Nick is going to have a terrifying setup. Because there's so many heroes that can keep him safe, and when you have this many heroes that can just simply keep you alive, then you can be super aggressive in the way that you're playing the hero. Level 4 talent is now in for both. That gives us, I mean, again, usually the Crystallize, this game no exception. The Magic Spit again, so Ixia staying true to the build that he used on the last map. We got the Strangling Vines for the heal reduction and the Pulse Generator after the 1-2 punch on level 1. Siege Giants at least are taken, so that's actually something for Feel the Heat. They take a little bit more of early map control as they go for the Siege Giants at the bottom of the map. Masquerade still has to come in with the trade again, trying to dodge out on some of the damage that Dino wants to pop through. And he's obviously attempting as much as he can to prevent them from turning in here. 22 stacks, 3 minutes in for Nick. It's pretty solid. It's actually really, really solid for them. And the aggression through the middle as we have another camp now taken. This one is a little bit later, as you can see, so we will still see them at the defense here, but already we have the move straight through the middle with the mercenary camp from Washed Up as they attempt to take at least the wall down and get a bit more damage in. Already Zarya doing what she does best up at the front. Yeah, Tassadar is trying to do the same thing. Laser beams connected. Just don't cross them. We all know what happens then. Lightning was already hitting the Statue of Liberty earlier today in the thunderstorm. And, I mean, if you now cross the beams too, then you might as well call the Ghostbusters right away, because that shit is going down heavy. Nick, still sitting at the top. 25 stacks for him now. I'm a little bit terrified. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a little bit terrified already when I just look at the amount of stacks that he has this early in the game. If that pace continues in any way, shape, or form, then yeah, good luck getting anything done here. So top side, Masquerade is still totally fine. No problems for him. They're going into level 7. It's a slightly inexperience for Feel the Heat. Nothing crazy, nothing to force things just yet. We still don't have any kills. And Nick keeps stacking. So does Tassadar, by the way. So he's not the only one. So we have Tassadar on 80 stacks. That's nice for him. Blue Web Weavers are going to descend first. So a nice turn for Feel the Heat, as they're trying, of course, to set this up. Blade is in the middle of this fight. And oh, Tracer gets chunked down pretty heavily here. But Web Weavers are coming down, and obviously they need to take those apart. Building up momentum would be the best thing that could happen for Feel the Heat right now. If they are able to do that, that would be just fantastic. Nice wall, great. Actually keeping Nick in a really awkward spot here. Doesn't seem to have his cooldown up. Needs to be careful that he doesn't get hit by the Web Weaver wave there either. He's able to dodge out on that, but Brightwing is still around and helping them out a little bit more. Hit connects, nicely done. Nick really taking advantage of those side hits as well. Sitting at 37 stacks right now. And the push at the bottom of the map does damage though. So I gotta give it to Feel the Heat. They're really starting to do a number on those structures. Mid lane gets attacked. Nice route, but Nick is still alive. Yeah, but at the bottom of the map, the one thing that's definitely gonna fall here is that fort. 1 fort down. Great first objective. Really good first objective. Also, slight adjustment here with the Sins exposed into the Zealous Glare for Johanna. Nice trade use from Masquerade. Good job by him. Level 7 talents all around. We don't have 10 yet, but they're getting 2 forts out of this. Jesus. Really? 2 forts and a kill out of Webweaver wave number 1. Damn. As much as I love the way that Nick is stacking Cassia, if they are getting snowballed, then they're gonna be played to the wall here. Now, there was, of course, an early lead on game number 1 that they were able to equalize and then turn around, but still. This is a very snowbally map if you can go from objective to objective and maybe even claim more structures and then eventually take the boss topside. So, we have a lot of gems for Feel the Heat. Now, Washed Up still could go for a turn of their own. They have 28 gems already committed and another 48 that they're currently holding. But they don't have level 10 abilities, so they have to wait for those first. But I still gotta say that, oof. Yeah, backup battery is in. Always gotta have that power bank. Always gotta have that power bank. Super important now. So, yeah, I mean, I keep my eye on Nick still. Seriously? Okay, okay. I see what you're doing there. Are they sneaking this one? I mean, if Hazobs checks this and he doesn't, it's an early boss, but regardless, they are apparently not wondering where the opponent is. And guys, this is going to be a boss. They're going to get this one. They're actually going to get it. Fair enough. I mean, the boss is taken up at the top, and it's not really what I expected from this game. But yeah, it's happening. So the boss just got taken, and now they have their turn in, about to be completed. Blade comes in, but he's not fast enough, so yeah, the Web Weavers are going to come down, and they might just be able to defend the boss before that's the case. 39 stacks now for Nick, 40. Finally a little bit more of a skirmish that he can capitalize on. But Nick is low, gets healed, job well done. The blink heal of Brightwing definitely helping out here. They got their ults ready, of course. But the boss topside is about to take that fort down. The boss is about to take the fort. Damage output, Nick at 27,000. He's already ahead. I mean, he's ahead of Tacita. And the gap should widen as this continues. This is the first time that I've seen a Web Weaver walking backwards, I think. The Web Weaver is like, where the fuck do you think you're going? Okay. 28,000 damage now against 27k. And off we go. Here's the jump back. And, well, right now, there's the next hit coming. Trying to go for Nick here. He's at 44 stacks. Needs a few more. Could maybe turn around. First one to fall is Blaze on the other hand. Okay. Here's the trade. Masquerade! Uh-oh! Yeah, slides out and is actually still safe. Now 45 stacks, 210 for Tacita. Yeah, they are level ahead now. Feel the Heat. They crushed to the tournament and the last map was the first one that lost here today. But I gotta admit, this is still a rough one. The only thing really is that the last couple of games that I've seen Feel the Heat lose to Wash Up all went after the same pattern. Feel the Heat takes the initial lead, has an advantage, and at some point the game tips. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, they are ahead, they're looking strong, they have 1 level lead, a little bit more than that. They have taken all the forts down, they're in a great spot. And I'm just like, yeah, but I've seen this before. So that's the only thing where I'm just really sitting here thinking like, maybe let's not call it just yet. Blue Web Weavers are coming down, obviously looking still very, very strong here. But the early game is really where Feel the Heat excelled in all of the games, and it was a late game where they struggled. But I gotta say that for Washed Up, this is starting to become a real uphill battle. Still a talent down. Web Weavers moving in. And now they have to face off against Dino, who is just absolutely on a rampage right now. Really just zipping around trying to get the damage in. And, well, same true for Nick, right? I mean, he's still trying to stack here, as you can see the entire time. He's just throwing out one Lightning Fury after another. Another setup here. This time the Avalanche didn't hit anything, but it was a nice idea for Masquerade coming from the side and set the ult up to potentially put them into a corner for someone to capitalize on it. Yeah, not really worked though. 53 stacks now for Nick. I mean, again, he's getting there, but there's the setup against him. Blast shield, and Nick, oh my god, Ixia with the heal and the kill against Johanna. The first kill for Washed Up in this game. Quest completed for Tastada after 10 minutes. Ty is in trouble, no bunker for him. One down, Ixia is low, 9 hit points on the Fruit Fly, and Brightwing makes it out. Bottom of the map though, Keep is getting attacked, and Washed Up is starting to fall apart here. Yeah, now they're going for Masquerade. He barely survives too. Nick is just stacking and trying to get the damage in, but he's also under enormous pressure now. Ixia is just jumping around with one blink heal after another and keeping them in play. But the Keep at the bottom of the map has already fallen. We're only 11 minutes in and they're already starting to struggle to keep those inner structures safe. And this is just not looking good. With a level 16 talent on the board, it seems that Feel the Heat is going to lock in this victory here on game number 3, no matter what. It might not be just now, they might have to retreat for the time being, but they have 41 gems of 60 that they need. They have a 2-level lead and 1 talent advantage. Boss is going to be up, I guess, in a minute or two? Yeah, in 40 seconds. And it's just 2 lanes that get pushed in by catapults now continuously. Honestly, if Feel the Heat does not win this, then I don't really know if they ever win the series against Washed Up, because a game like this, you have to make it work. It was a smart move to move back. It was really a smart move. They have a huge advantage, and those lanes are working in their favor. I mean, those lanes are going to be continuously pushed by catapults now. So you have full-on map control here. And they can try and make plays like this one, where they just simply come in and try and get a kill. You just need to make sure that when he turns against them, they're not going to fall. Yeah, wall is already up, Blade is moving away, Masquerade is sitting at the side here, trying to make the play for Blade most likely, but he gets out, and they're trying to turn it right now. There's the Blessed Shield commitment, the ult coming through, Ixia is in trouble, and the Fruit Fly goes down. Brightwing is eliminated, and they're starting to chase them. Hazorps is about to go down too. If they can lock him down a little bit further, he will definitely fall. That's already Masquerade eliminated. Hazorps is dead. They're losing the gems that they were working for so hard. Ty is holding another 9, but now, of course, with only 2 defenders still in play. The commitment towards the core as Feel the Heat is trying to force game number 3 in this series. Nick is also dead, 78 stacks for him, 62,000 damage, but it didn't really matter. They lost the early game, and this time Feel the Heat did not give them an opportunity to claw back into it. Nicely done by the blue team as they tie the series and force the 3rd and final map in this grand final. GG and well played. Game on, Infernal Shrines. We have the final map. Pretty happy about that, actually. So, yeah, Feel the Heat. They finally were able to carry the momentum. I don't even want to call it the late game, but they snowballed it hard enough that they could take the opponent's score down. So, will we see any draft adjustments? That's the bigger question, though. Now, obviously, when we're heading into game number 2, the immediate complaint of, like, most people was like, oh my god, they didn't ban Cassia. How could they? After Nick just ripped them apart. But, well, they controlled her, and they did a good job with this. Granted, if the game lasts much longer, it's a very different ball game, and all of a sudden Cassia might have been the one. Instead, now Tracer gets banned by the team that played Tracer in every single game of this tournament so far. So, since we have first pick, first ban, this time for Washed Up, they don't want any of the players over here, Ty or Nick, more so Ty, to play her. So, yeah, there's that. So, with that said, let's check that out and have a bit of a look of what we're going to see with this draft. I mean, it's Infernal Shrine, so Waveclear, of course, reigns supreme once again. We're talking about Jojo, we're talking about Blaze, we're talking about Deathwing, for example. I mean, there's tons of heroes that you really want to look at right now. Obviously, the traditional bands, ETC, Rel, are still heroes you want to look at too. So, there's a lot with that. So, let's see what they can actually do here. A lot of those bans didn't come through, by the way. So this Semi-Div gets banned, but Urel, for example, is still open. ETC is still open. Those are bans that we've seen in pretty much every single game right now. And as Cassia gets banned, that still means that both of them are still in play. So on the mage side, you have a Tassadar that you could pick here. Now, obviously, we could still go for the oldies but goldies, but I don't really think that's going to happen. I mean, don't see that many Gul'dan picks these days. I mean, we've seen Kel'Thas lately, too. But let's see how this is going to start off with. Ana, first of all. So Ixia, this time, goes for a bit of a different setup. So we have Ana already in. That immediately means that if you're taking any kind of mage, you can immediately go straight in for the nano boost and just do just massacre them. But it also leaves a couple of heroes open that we might now see taken by Feel the Heat, like that Imperius, maybe even the Urel I was waiting for, and there she is. So Urel and Imperius is already a super annoying setup. I mean, playing against that, when you have players against you that know what they're doing, like, okay. Not really gonna be a lot of fun at all. What are we gonna get now for Washed Up? I mean, again, you can combo a lot with Ana, but they sat there and said, like, Imperius and Urel, we give both of them away. And that's a tough order to make. That's a tough call to make for sure. There's the ETC pick, and we get Tychus. Now, Tychus obviously has seen a lot of changes with his overkill, and that can really help you right now. So he was buffed quite a bit, and I want to see what exactly is going to come out of that. So we saw a couple of fun Tychus plays already. I think Tychus is definitely a hero that can make a lot of waves right now. Haven't seen the level 20 talent in action just yet on one of these top level games, which is kind of sad. Big red button is obviously something that is incredibly difficult to pass up upon, but still. So we have the man with a cigar without the cigar. Blizzard hates the Renegade, what can I say? But now that we have Blaze banned, that makes it a little bit more difficult for Washed Up to be safe on the side. So ETC needs to be super careful, but then again, Masquerade is obviously fantastic Trank player, so he's not going to have too much problem there. What's the follow-up though on the slide? That's the next question. Okay, Tassadar goes down, like that. I mean, ETC can keep Tychus safe, right? Tychus has the problem that he needs to get really close to the target usually, especially on the auto attack setup. So when you have someone like ETC coming in, he can, with all the tools that he has, create that space for Tychus. He used to do that for Vala. That was one of the reasons why ETC was just paired with Vala so much. Not only that she got a double support most of the time, especially back in the days, but then also ETC, so there's a lot of that happening. There's Zeratul, Dino with his Zeratul setup. Okay. Let's go. And we have Malfurion. Yeah, I like it. Okay, Malfurion is up. And let's go. Let's get the last two picks in for Washed Up here. Let's see what we can actually do with that. Especially Ty. Ah, Kerrigan and Thrall! Ho ho! Baby, we're getting aggressive right now. Yeah, we're going ham. Save the butter, save the cheese, boys. We're going ham. Ultralisk is sitting there and is like, whew, not quite sure what to do with that. They need a range damage dealer. They don't have a range damage dealer yet. And there's Junkrat. Alright, this is gonna be quite a bit of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 3, the final map in this grand final. Let's jump in Infernal Shrines and let's see which team claims victory today. Alright, we're going into a wild game. Washed Up, definitely going a little bit aggro over here. And Feel the Heat also with some really solid picks. We got X-Ray Malfurion with on Imperius. But of course, what we're looking for most of all is Dino on his Zeratul. Blade is playing Urel, and we got Ultralisk on Junkrat. At the same time, towards the right side of the map, Washed Up playing this with Nick on Kerrigan, which is always a highlight. Hazops on Tychus, which is pretty awesome as well. We got Ixia on Ana, and Masquerade is playing ETC with Ty on Thrall. Definitely ready for this one, I can tell you that much already. Yeah, Trolling Thunder on level 1 for Thrall. So one-on-one lane talent for him right away. And as usual for Tychus, we got the dash now on level 1 as well. Another one to highlight here For sure. So yeah, already a little bit of a skirmish here in the middle. Zeratul is missing. Nice attempt at a kill by Kerrigan, but you could already see what Junkrat is supposed to do here. Doesn't really help Urel as she dies, but Junkrat's role is largely going to be to use his mind to just shake control in these fights and go for the displacement. So that's going to be super, super important for them. Just pretty much as we're seeing here right now. Yeah, and especially for people watching this obviously on YouTube right now, once again, if you want to support all the coverage here of Heroes of the Storm, Valorant and other games, all the esports stuff that I do, then you can do that at Patreon on patreon.com/Khaldor. And in particular also a big shout out and thank you to all of the people that are already supporting me there. It's very, very much appreciated and really helps to keep the coverage on the channel here alive. So thanks to all of you. Thank you very much. 2 kills against 0 after we just had another one against Junkrat. And yeah, Washed Up has a pretty aggressive draft. I mean, honestly, they have an insanely aggressive draft. But can they really keep that up throughout the late game? Because we still have that Urel and Imperius combo on the other side, and that makes it tricky. But since they get a 3rd kill in now in the middle, it seems more and more likely that they're going to walk away with an early lead in the game. And they are using it to come in and take this too, but Kerrigan didn't pay attention. Nick, they need to go through the wall. And well, there's nobody that can really attack them. He gets just pooped around the entire time here. There's one push to the left, one to the right, and in the meantime they make a play for Dino, who barely comes through. Nick is low, but Ixia gets the heal connect, and now they're trying to keep Thrall in play. Nick coming in with an attempt to turn it against the blue team, but they can't quite make it happen here. Jesus, what a game. 5-4 the levels. And of course, as usual, the bigger they are on level 4. The standard talent on level 4, the mandatory talent more or less, and for a good reason. Someone tells you to go for anything else, be very, very, very skeptical. They very likely have no clue what they're talking about. Okay, so now with 3 kills to 0, we have the first objective spawning, and there's no talent lead yet, but given the fact that there's still 10 seconds on the counter and we already have reached level 6 for Washed Up, there's a chance that they actually get level 7, and if that happens during the Shrine phase, they are most likely going to win this bad boy. So the camps are both taken at the top. Down here, Masquerade is already starting to do his thing, and well, let's see if the coordination is there. It's all about those lockdowns. You have an ETC slide, you have the Kerrigan combo, and you have, of course, also the Sleep Dart plus Thrall, who's battling it out against Blade. But there's always the Junkrat factor. Wit, then again, is already low. Masquerade got moved back into the enemy team, and they capitalize on it with a quick kill against ETC. Yeah, there's beef on the table for today. But can they still win the objective? Because there's a big lead for Washed Up. Dino is coming in, starting to be aggressive as well. That combo went nowhere. Unfortunate for Nick. And another Junkrat play. Nicely done. Ultralisk really allowing them to set these kills up. Hazorbs is also in trouble. He's trying to go for the counter kill since he realizes he's going to fall here anyways. But that has happening not today. As 3 kills against 3 as they kill 3 in a row. Make it 4, baby. They are crushing right now. Holy shit. I mean, Hazu was one victim. He was trying to go for the counter kill against Malfurion. That doesn't help. And then they're following up with another quick kill against Nick as he gets locked down too. The objective is taken in addition to that, and all of a sudden we got the lead for Feel the Heat, and they are moving through the bottom of the map in the attempt to take the first fort down. So what started with 3 kills for Washed Up, all of a sudden it's looking very, very different here. The setup was amazing in the first few minutes, but right now they really need to somehow deal with Junkrat, because he's pretty much just ruining all of their plays. Ultralisk has done such a fantastic job there. I mean, of course, it's flashy to just see Dino jump around the entire time here, but the setups from Ultralisk were fantastic for the team. It was what allowed them get a lot of the kills that they got here. So, big, big shout out to him. Those were some fantastic setups. Now that we have another camp taken, the blue team is also eager to get their own. But this has all of a sudden become a pretty awesome Game 3. So I really like that one. That one was just fantastic. And here comes the setup, and with the slide, and the combo! 4 kills to 4. Alright, they are still at it. I like it. Yeah, good job from them. And that's exactly what we're looking for, right? Ultralisk down here. There's another attempt. They're trying to go for the combo once more, and this time they're locking in on X-Ray. They get the kill, and Junkrat wasn't able to prevent it. But those are the quick and snappy plays that we need in this game now from both teams. And it is just an absolute pleasure to watch both of them at each other's throat, just waiting for an opportunity to get a kill, get a little bit ahead, take that lead in an attempt to snowball. So, yeah. Well done here as they move to the middle again. And the 10 abilities nearly. There's the sleep setup. Wit! He gets through! But here comes Carrigan and takes him down. Actually, it was a really nice attempt. We're going to take another look at this. It was a really good attempt initially. So yeah, they move down towards the camp. They come on to Nick. He's trying to lunge over, and that's why Nick, to Imperius, and Nick is already waiting for this. But that's the reason why Nick didn't join them, because they were saying, hey, where can he go? This is pretty much the most likely spot. Nick was waiting right there and, yeah, just capitalized on the entire setup. So that was a very well coordinated kill, making sure that he has no escape path left to him. And that worked really, really fantastic for them. So that's 6 kills against 4, level 10 abilities on both sides. So despite the fact that we just saw that last kill against Imperius and have now a 2-kill lead, it's not like they're massively ahead. It's even experience, pretty much. And they suffered more damage on the structures initially. But now we have also on level 10 the summon Ultralisk. I mean, they don't really have to summon him. He's right there. You just have to catch him. That's the more difficult part. But we also have the Eye of Horus, and we have Sundering. So there's a lot of tools now, and those tools help them to take Ultralisk down. You see? Didn't have to summon him after all. Just need to watch out for him. But yeah, anyways. Since the dad jokes are starting to get worse and worse, now that we have another advantage in numbers for Washed Up, they are very likely going to get the better position on the next shrine. Now, of course, the death times are still low, so Ultralisk is going to be back with Junkrat in just a second. But instead, we have an attempt to catch Carrigan! And they're doing that! Beautiful setup. Fantastic setup right there. I mean, that was just golden. That was the best thing they could do. It was even a safe rotation from Carrigan, but they already anticipated that. They have Imperius in position. The immediate follow-up from Malfurion, and, well, that's an easy kill. So now that we have everybody jumping on the blade, there's already the ult. They're trying to go for Odin, and they are starting to fight through this. Carrigan is back in just another second. They're buying time, and they're ahead on the objective too. I mean, the kill was nice, but that doesn't guarantee Feel the Heat to grab this one. Mosh pit! But they can't get the kill. Sundering is in, and Zeratul is nearly dead. Holy cow, Dino, careful now. Yeah, he needs to go back, and with him retreating, that pretty much means they have to give up on the objective too. They were ahead with 29 to 22 points, but they can't make it happen. They can't make it happen, and that is one objective in the hands of Washed Up. Also, this is going to be a completed quest for ETC. Krokrook is done. Yeah. Damage output, let's have a look at it. 22,000 for Tychus, 21,000 for Thrall. 2 top damage dealers for them now. And Zeratul is attempting to push the bottom wave into the fort so that they can finally take this one. The one in the middle is obviously toast. The Arcane Sentries alone are already slicing it apart. But down here, it seems like they want that Zeratul. They know he's here somewhere. Yeah, they go for the camp. Okay. So they were just going for a bit of sleep dart action. Dino is just sitting in the corner. Shh! Don't move! The only one that hasn't died yet for Feel the Heat. But they get the camp. And they go for the wall. And Dino is just simply sitting here. It's finally starting to make a bit of a move. Finds Ixia, gets a little bit of damage in, but has to move away, and does that. The rest of the team was rotating in, but they couldn't lock anybody down yet. Thrall and Urella rotating between the middle and the top, so nothing has really changed there. And no overkill talents for Tychus, by the way. So initially I thought that Tarzu would really commit to some of those newly changed talents. I guess the Relentless Soldier on level 7 is, of course, a bit stronger now. But he still goes into the Neo Steel coding on level 13. We have the Chrysalis for Carrigan now as well. So she can play around that tool a bit better too. Yeah, and they got a lot of CC right now. I mean, they definitely do. Okay, Urel up in the middle. Tyus coming in. Sundering! Oh, that was a bit too optimistic. Nope, not quite. Yeah, I mean, the Sun Ring really caught her, but there needs to be a follow-up, and Kerrigan wasn't close enough yet for a jump. The Wolf didn't connect either, so a little bit unlikely for them. Couldn't really do anything with it. But it's one of those situations where you can YOLO the ult out, and you will very likely have it again for the objective, so a bit of a risky play. But stuff like this, when it works out, gives you a huge advantage in map control, and if it doesn't, you will still have your ult ready for the next objective. I mean, you can see it right now. It's back on 30 seconds. Objective hasn't been announced yet, so this is one of those windows that you have between one objective and the other, where you can make a risky play with your heroic ability, because even if you don't get anything out of it, it will be ready for the upcoming fight. Wow. Idiot. Okay, 15.5 to 15.5. This thing has still not fallen, by the way. It's amazing to me that they are never able to claim it. If Ultralis gets just close enough for a few grenades, it's definitely toast. But yeah, not yet. Not yet. Alright. Tychus trying to keep it in play. I mean, it's gonna fall eventually, but the longer they can hold on to it, the better for them, of course. Ty is also now making very safe rotations here because he knows this is going to get tricky. Sizzling attacks is in. Yeah, we've seen this talent as a previous level 20. Now it's on 16 and he goes for it. Here comes the attack though as they go for Wit again. Wit is already low. He's in trouble. Shrine gets activated. Reptire slows them down a bit. And we have some aggression over here. The kill as Ty solos Dino. Thrall kill against Zeratul. Nicely done. That was actually a super important kill. It was a fantastic one too, because it's just at the right moment. Just when the Shrine is about to activate, and that is likely going to be a massive lead for them now. Okay. Here's our level 16. That gives us, by the way, the second cleave talent for Zeratul. Now here's the Void Slash available. But they're going quickly for the objective. Zeratul is down for another 15 seconds. They might have to let the entire thing slide. I don't think they can make that play. I mean, they're trying. Blade is moving in, gets immediately welcomed. There's a setup, and oh my god, that ult. And he's dead. Okay. Yep, that's how to easily kill a Urel and get a staggered death. Right here. Moves in, gets locked down, gets the ult through, can't do absolutely anything, and that's a kill. That's Urel down, and I mean, that's all that they need. I mean, seriously, now it's a staggered death, 20 seconds for Urel. They're gonna get the objective. They have the camp at the bottom. They can pretty much time the camps. They're timing the camps right now. Yeah. That's nasty. Punisher taken, double camp in the middle, and a camp at the bottom together with the Punisher. That's all that you gotta do here. So, 5-9. The kill count. 18 to 17. This fort doesn't even matter. That's how quickly it gets destroyed. Like, no chance for this one. Now, up at the top, this could do some work, so we have to keep our eye on that a little bit. But this push down here, that's a totally different story. And I mean, we already have the commitment of Hazorps into Odin. They want to break this down as quickly as possible. They want to go for keep now. They're definitely going to try for keep. So, yeah, gets baited in already. Wall is down. And they do a lot of damage to the Punisher already early on, so that's actually great for them. And they also triggered the Punisher ability outside of the keep range too. But here's the push, and that one is a strong one. Dino's the thing at the side as he's now starting to come in slowly. He wants to make sure that he has a chance to maybe get one of those quick kills. But the keep is gone. The keep is gone, guys. This is game 3. And Washed Up is looking stronger and stronger and stronger by the minute now. They know where Dino is too. Sundering is not up. So as long as they don't drop him out of stealth, they're going to be fine here. And so far it doesn't seem like they can. Hazorps, of course, could technically do it with a grenade, but still. Keep eliminated, 31,000 damage for Tychus. And that is bot lane control. This thing, by the way, I mean, honestly, are we repeating this? Look at this shit. That thing is at 700 HP, and down at the bottom of the map, we have 500 on this one. So both of the forts are pretty much gone. But as long as they are technically still standing, I mean, honestly, you spit at one of these things and they fall apart. So, as they're technically still in, it means that there's no catapult spawning on those lanes for Feel the Heat. And they are apparently done with this, or at least they think they are. But Masquerade is just sitting there like, no, I like this one. You're not going to take it down. He pushed them back again! Oh, and it's still there! 56 HP. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Can someone please take that down? I mean, there we go. Finally. Holy shit. They're fighting for every hit point on that thing, aren't they? All the way up at the top, there already is another camp pushing in that has to be dealt with, and they are even rotating with pretty much 5 of them. There's the level 20 abilities now too, and it's more than a level lead that they have here. So with that, we have the big red button again. We got actually the armored stance over here, and 3 bolts. 3 bolts of the storm at this point. Oh my god. So, yep. Let's go. Here comes the setup. Zeratul is at the bottom of the map. Dino has been shut down so far pretty well by them. I mean, honestly, Dino is one of the best Zeratul players that we currently have in Europe, and if you see him against other teams, I mean, the way that he works around the Might of the Nerazim and is just able to get those insta-kills in is insane. But in this game, he wasn't able to put any pressure on at all. They are controlling him extremely well. They always watch out for him, they call it quickly, they keep Anna alive. He had very little chance to make any plays here, and there's so much CC that they're really putting him in his place whenever he pops his head up. So, yep. That's a little bit crazy right now. Okay, so top side, half a level until 20. So there's not really anything crazy happening around level 20, simply because there's nothing on the map really. They can take the camp, but that's about it. They are pushing in for the fort to try and take that fountain down so that they can fight for the objective without having the opponent tap at the fountain. And that's definitely going to work here. But, well, let's have a bit of a look on this one. Zeratul is the one now dealing with the middle of the map. And, well, let's see. Here comes the level 20. Zeratul, of course, upgrading his 10. Seraphim is in. And the objective is activating. This is for all the marbles. I mean, this is the last game, so you need to make your play at some point. So Zeratul even committing to the ult real quickly. I mean, 20-second cooldown. Nothing that you really need with this. And they are going all the way up towards the top in the attempt to take this. Yes, let's go. This is where Feel the Heat has to really go for it. I mean, they honestly do. This is the last chance that you pretty much have. I mean, okay, the fort is still there, so it's not necessarily game over if Washed Up takes the Punisher here, but they really need to start to turn it around at some point. And bot lane is pushing. It's 18 minutes into the game. We're not talking winions yet, but still, you can't suffer too many catapults on your core. At this point, you're going to be in trouble. There's the commitment with 14 points on the board towards the objective. And they get the insta-pop against Malfurion. Malfurion is down. Dino's trying to make some plays. They zone him out so well right now. Nick is in trouble and he gets dropped as Urel jumps in hoof first. But they're going for more kills. And this is a problem for Wit. Wit is trying to get away here too, barely with 100 hit points that he has. Dino's still waiting in the shadows, trying to see if he can maybe make a play against Anna or anybody else, but it's still a 4 versus 4 setup, and Imperius forced to go back. You can already tell that the keep in the middle is starting to suffer a little bit of damage, and down to the bottom of the map, the catapults that are pushing in are, of course, a different issue altogether. They can't really let those get onto the core. 19 minutes or no 19 minutes, it doesn't matter. 34 points towards the objective against 11, and they are letting this one slide. They can wait it out. They shouldn't take it right away, and they're going to wait it out. They're only going to take 1 or 2 more, and then they're going to wait a little bit longer for Kerrigan, very likely. Catapults on the core, but of course they get taken down now. No problem on this one. But with 10 kills to 6, and everybody in play, it's going to be Punisher time. Punisher top lane with the entire 5 men off Washed Up as they are looking for a second victory in the second qualifier for the Panda Cup. Top side, that's where it's at right now. As they're starting to move through, and bot lane gets pressure a little bit from the blue team. I mean, it's pretty much got just a counterbalance against the catapult so that they have a bit more time towards the top. But yeah, Blade needs to get back. They're gonna let this fort obviously fall. There's no way that you keep this one. And it doesn't offer any safety either. So you have to let the fort go. And then you just wait and try and protect the keep, or at least burn the Punisher down as much as you can so that your opponent can't make a play for core. But Big Red Button is back up, and that's a disaster in and of itself. It's such a fantastic ult, and Hazorbs is already just murdering on the damage numbers here, pushing them back even further. Keep is gonna fall 100%. There's no way holding this one. Camp is pushing in. We got the big red button, and we got the Punisher. The only question is really, can you keep your boys alive? Can you maybe make a play for core? Dino is coming in, hit after hit. He's trying to take Ty down, but Hazops is helping Thrall out. With 42%, they're going slowly for core. And even the Keep in the middle is getting attacked at the same time now. So they're starting to move straight in, and it is not looking good at all for Feel the Heat. They started things off well, but on this third map, it just turned too hard. Washed up. They take Imperius down. They go for X-Ray. There's the double kill. That's the beginning of the end right here. Once again, Washed Up seems to be victorious. It's a 5 versus 3 right now, and they're going straight up for the shields. The core is falling, and there's just nobody to hold on to this. Kerrigan, she goes for the next combo. They're trying to get the kill against Urel. They nearly drop her. Now they go for Dino, who barely makes it out. Kerrigan is dead, but the core is falling, and it's falling quickly. They might not be able to take it out now, though. 63%, they actually have to fall back. They actually hold the core for now. Oh, Zeratul! Good slide for Masquerade. He was anticipating Zeratul jumping in and trying to lock Dino down and then kill him. But he hesitated. He delayed it by 1 second. And then Zeratul still made a bit of damage. Okay. They hold on to it. 63% though. Bottom keep. That's a bit of a problem. I think if they didn't chase those kills and instead committed to the core, they might have been able to pull it off here. But they started to go for a few additional kills. They wanted to try and take Imperius down and also went for Zeratul, and both of them escaped multiple times. And that is just time down the drain. So they still have it. Now we have the camps slowly claimed. And by the way, with 2 keeps down, let's not mince words here. It's 23 minutes into the game pretty much. And the top and the bot lane are both exposed. So with the next objective spawning in the middle, all that Wash Up has to do is delay it. Delay the objective, delay the fight. If they do that, the side lanes are going to push. And those catapults are going to hit hard. That late into the game, we're talking Winions. And with only 63% on the core, you're in trouble. Because if those catapults make it onto the core, you are just getting crushed. But, well, off we go. So, right now, we have... yeah, just teams dancing. I mean, ideally you get a kill now, right? Ideally, someone makes a mistake, face checks somewhere, you get a quick kill, and you can take it from there. The one thing that Feel the Heat has to do is they need to take some of those catapults down, push the side lanes out. This one, for example, is a problem. So they let this one push in a little bit further and then try to take all 3 catapults down at the same time. So that's pretty much that. And yeah, that is what we're currently waiting for here. Top side. Yep, there it is. 2 catapults get taken out. They're going to move in a little bit deeper in order to drop this one as well, or at least that's likely. And both teams are pretty much doing the same, trying to just pressure the side lanes. Pressure the side lanes. As you can see, another wave is now being taken here too. They want to push those in as deep as they can, so that eventually someone of Feel the Heat has to fall back in order to defend the core, and that's then the moment that Washed Up will use to commit to the shrine. Unless, of course, they get an opportunity beforehand and can maybe even take a kill in the fight itself. That's a different story. But they got time. That's the point here. They have the time to just retreat, play it a little bit safe, play it slow, and Feel the Heat is the one that has to make a commitment early. And this is gonna be the big problem right there. Yeah, Sundering is out. That didn't do anything. All right. Job well done. Feel the Heat. Initial engage. Could move away from it. Top lane, no problem for Feel the Heat right now because they got their own mercenary camp, so that's great. Bot lane, that's a different story. Eventually, someone will have to get back there. And Hazops with the big red button, so that's a lot of tools that they now have where they can try and take the control of the shrine. 16 to 14 stacks at this point towards the objective. And here we go. Hazo gets attacked in the back line. They're trying to go for it. Here comes the lockdown and the kill against Zeratul. Zeratul is dead. What a setup. X-Ray is low and he gets sniped from Ana. Ana comes in with a snipe, takes it easily, and now it's a 5 versus 3. Bot lane gets pushing. They're trying to go for more kills. They are dropping Imperius. They're going for Blade, and they are likely gonna take him to Blade. Gets wrecked. But, well, this is how it all got started. They went for the kills against Zeratul. Then they got Malfurion right after. And now they can go for the core. Washed Up. They do it once again. They claim the victory in the best of 3 with a 2-1 and decide another qualifier in their favor. GG and well played.